Thank you very much for joining us for this edition of Computer Insider. There's a battle line happening in the technology market that, personally, I'm just plain sick of. It's the which smartphone is better, Apple or Android? iPhone users around the world just had their defensive shields pop up and are preparing to defend their turf to the last dollar in their bank account. And that's okay, because I don't really care. The truth of the matter is, I don't like my phone, but I've come to learn that it's the best one that I own. And if I were to jump from Samsung to iPhone, I'd be no further ahead. You see, I don't really care that I have 1 billion pixels on my camera, that there were 100 trillion apps available, how pretty the case is, or whether I was the first person in town to actually own one. What I care about is that when I go to make a call, that I can easily connect to my provider, that the people I call can easily hear me and I them. I care the battery lasts a long time. I care that I can read the screen, and I care what it costs to keep the whole thing working month in and month out. Do I care if Apple is better than Samsung? No, not at all. And here's how it works in my mind. My phone remains in use until after it's finished its contract, until it dies, or there's some other must-have new or upgraded feature that I have to have. When I switched from BlackBerry to the Galaxy S2, it's because I needed a new phone for a staff member. So I got the S2 and they got my old phone. Later I jumped to the S4 2 years after my contract expired because my wife needed a replacement phone and Samsung was in the midst of launching the S4 with LTE, which in my mind was a significant feature. So we ended up with 2 new phones, purchases made on price, both with LTE, and I love it. My Samsung more so than the Nexus 4. The real story about smartphones is what's happening on the global market because, well, God is on the side of the heavy artillery. The most recent data from IDC shows that the third quarter of 2013, Android made up 81% of devices shipped. That's right, 4 out of 5 smartphones shipped in the third quarter were built on Android. Meanwhile, Apple's iOS scraped by with a sad and distant second place figure of 12.9%. On the other side of the coin, Apple during the same period, third quarter 2013, they made more money than all of their competitors combined, raking in 56% of the profit in the mobile device market. Now that's where I become a little bit paranoid. If Apple's making 56% of the profits with 12% of the units shipped, it has to be that Apple users are paying at least 4 times more for their toy than I am for my Android. And thank you very much. I would just prefer to keep my money in my pocket than watching Apple celebrate huge profits. Reporting for Computer Insider, I'm Bob Pritchard.